What's up everyone, welcome back with me Nathan. In this video, I want to share everything you need to know about GitHub so that you can use it properly. Let's get started. So, if you've been building projects or developing software, whether with AI or not, you've probably noticed that in most tutorials, you'll end up using GitHub at some point. But most of the time, there's never enough time to explain what GitHub actually is. So in this video, I'll break down everything you need to know about the platform to get started. Now, the first thing you should know is that GitHub is a platform for sharing and managing development projects. For most of the time, you can use it completely for free unless you're working with a team. And even then, it's super affordable as it's only about $4 a month per user. You can just sign up at github.com and start using the platform for free. After signing up, you will see the homepage feed over here. This is basically the updates and announcements from repositories and users that you have interacted with. On the left side, you can view the most recent repositories under your account. We will talk about repositories more in a second. For now, let's go to your profile page by clicking on your profile picture on the top right side and then select Profile. Now, the profile page is where people can get an idea of who you are. There's your profile on the left side, and on the right side, you can show some repositories, and then below that, you have contributions. These are basically your activities in GitHub, such as repositories or commits you created. Now, the most important thing for you to understand is repository. A repository, or repo for short, is simply a folder where you store all files and folders related to a single project. In GitHub, you can create as many repositories as you need. For example, here in my account, you can see that I have around 100 repos. Click on the tab, and here we can see all repos under my account. We can also search for a specific repo. For example, let's search for LangChain. And then I have this LangChain Python repo, which stores the code for that project. Click on the repository, and we can see all files and folders uploaded to this repo. We can click the folder to see the files, and so on. All these files are stored in GitHub server, and anyone can access it as it's a public repo. To create a new repo, you simply click on the plus icon at the top right side of GitHub, and then select New Repository. On the next screen, you can put the details of this repository, such as the name. Now, GitHub does give you a name suggestion down here, but it's recommended to give a descriptive name to your repo instead of a random one. To give a good name, think of the project that you want to store in this repository. For example, suppose I want to create a customer relationship management app, then I can name this repo as CRM Dashboard or CRM App. Next, there is description here where you can put a longer description for your app. For example, I can write a customer relationship management app here, but you can also leave it empty as this is optional. Next is the visibility of the repo. You can make this repo available to everyone, or you can make it private so that only you can access it by default. You can give access for certain people as well later. For now, we'll set this to public. And then just leave the rest of the options alone, then click the Create Repository button. Once the repo is created, GitHub will show you these instructions on how to put files in the repo. You can use CodeSpace to launch a web-based IDE, or you can also use the command line to send files to this repo. In this demo, we will try to create files using GitHub, so just click the Create a New File option here. Now on this page, you can create a file that will be saved in the repo. You can put the name of the file here, for example, maybe page.js for a JavaScript file. Note that you need to type the extension of the file you want to create. You can create any kind of file, like a text file with .txt or a .md for markdown file. Next, you can add the content of the file down here. So I would just add a header and then some text, and then you can also see the preview of the file being rendered over here. Now to save the file, you need to click on this Commit Changes button. Basically, a commit is like a save point for your project. It keeps a record of changes in your project, such as what files are being added, updated, or deleted. You create a commit whenever you want to publish changes to your project. So here on Commit Changes form, we can put the commit message, usually summarizing the changes, and then the longer description can be put down here. Once all set, click Commit Changes, and a new commit will be created in the repo. Alright, we can see page.md file is now available in the repo. Click the project name here to get an overview of the project, and here we can see there is a total of 1 commit in this repo so far. Let's create another commit by editing this markdown file. Open the file, and then click the pencil icon to edit the file, and then let's add more text here. And once done, commit the changes again. And now back in the project, we can see there are 2 commits in total. If you click on the commits, you can see the list of commits ordered from the latest to earliest. If you click on the commit, you can then see all the changes being recorded in this commit. There is the markdown file added, as well as several lines of text over here. Let's add one more comment to this repo. So back to the project page, click the page.md file, and then click edit. And then I will remove the text over here, commit the changes, and now the commit is created. So get back to the repo page. Now we have 3 commits, so let's click on that. And if we click on the latest commit, we can see the changes here. Notice that when you remove lines of text or code, you will have the changes highlighted in red, just like this. So red highlight for removals and green highlight for additions. Okay, the next term I want to talk about is branches. In GitHub, a branch is simply a duplicate of the project contained in the repo. Currently, we have a branch in this repo called main. So every repository on GitHub starts with one branch by default, and that is the main branch. All the commits created so far are actually saved in this branch. Now, the cool thing about GitHub is that multiple people can work on the same project at the same time. You just create separate branches from the main branch whenever you want to add or test something new. For example, you could have branch A where John works on the customer feature and branch B where Jane works on the deals feature. Branches make it easy for everyone to build on the project without overwriting each other's work. So now let's try to create another branch. Besides the branches icon, there is the switch branch button, which allows you to quickly switch between active branches. Click on view all branches here, and on this branches page, we can click on the new branch button to create one. Here, we can put the branch name. Usually, the name should explain what the branch is all about. For example, I want to add a readme file, so I will just say add readme, and then the source branch will be the main branch. Click create new branch, and now we have 2 branches in this repo. The main branch and the add readme branch. We can switch between the 2 branches easily with this switcher button. So here in the new branch, let's create a readme file. Just click on this add readme button, add some text to this file, and then commit the changes. Alright, now we can see the add readme branch has this readme file, while the main branch doesn't have it. To add features of a branch to another, you simply need to merge those branches. So the next question is how to merge the branches. Well, you can do this by creating a pull request. Click on this compare and pull request button, and here we can see the add readme branch is going to be merged to the main branch. Down here, you can put the title and description for the pull request, and then click the create pull request button. And in this pull request page, we can see all changes being done as well as the files change here. And if all is good, then you can click the merge pull request here and then enter the commit message to record this merge. GitHub usually already put a good commit name here. You can also add more description down here. Once all is set, click confirm merge, and now the merge is successful, and we can see that the readme file is being added to the main branch. Basically, we have created a branch from the main branch, make a commit in that branch, and then create a pull request to merge it back to the main branch. Now, creating branches and pull requests is actually optional in GitHub. If you're a real beginner just exploring GitHub, you can actually just keep committing to the main branch. These features start being necessary when you work on a complex project and you have team members assigned to different tasks. When you have multiple developments going on at the same time, then using branches and pull requests are the recommended approach. Next, if you want to add more files to the repo, you can do so by clicking on the plus icon here. And then you can create a new file or just upload one from your computer. Finally, you can also download a repo to your computer by clicking on this green code button. It will show you options on how to clone the repository to your computer, or you can simply download the project as a zip file. Okay, that's basically how you can create a repository, manage your project, and make changes. Now, we can definitely cover a lot more, such as how to clone or fork repository in GitHub, but that will make this video way longer than it needs to be. I just want to cover the most important topics to get you up and running with GitHub quickly. Things like creating a repository, commits, branches, and pull requests to merge changes. I've got more videos coming soon where I'll dive deeper into GitHub and Git. If that's something you want to see, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss it. And that's it for this tutorial. Now you understand how GitHub works and can start using it to manage your own projects. I hope you all enjoyed today's video and get some value out of it. With that being said, thanks so much for watching until the end. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in other videos. Bye bye!